So All-Star Weekend just happened, but we're not gonna let that affect our plan. So starting off, I want Drew go first, then Jerry, then I'll go. If you were LeBron or Kevin Durant, who would you have drafted? And LeBron is eligible, just not Kevin Durant because he was hurt. So who have you drafted for your All-Star team?
My team, starting at the 1, I did Steph Curry. I feel like that's self-explanatory. I mean,
No.
he is, yes. And the All-Star starters, yes. And at the 2 guard, I feel like it might be a little mixed just because he might be, quote unquote, a little bit out of position. But I'm going with Ja Morant. Ja Morant has had an MVP type season. And I feel like he would. No thoughts on that? Just, you want me to keep going?
We'll give our thoughts after. Me and Jerry will give our thoughts after.
Okay, then starting at the 3, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's LeBron. With the 4 being Giannis. At the 5, I chose Jokic. It was kind of a toss-up between Jokic and Embiid because they're both kind of the same player. But I think Jokic shares the ball better, and that's better for a team with shooters like Steph. And when you have different guys like Ja, LeBron, and Giannis, I think Jokic would play better. So I would have Jokic.
It's a very, very solid team.
Yeah. All right, for my 5.
Wait. I had one question. Why wouldn't you draw at the 1 and Steph at the 2?
I think it's a give or take. It kind of depends, like, if you draw up different plays for them. Like, if you're trying to get Steph an off-the-ball screen for an open shot, then Ja can bring the ball up.
I don't think it matters between the 2 if they're 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It can be a give. It can be a give or take.
I feel like
they both can move off ball.
I just feel like Ja kind of, if he's not bringing the ball up, that means just sitting on the wing.
The only thing is Steph is not as good on defense, and he's kind of smaller, where Ja is smaller, but he's more athletic, so he can probably defend the 2 better.
That's fair. You have a very good team, very understanding team. So Jerry, do you have a different team?
I do. I have actually 2 positions different. At the 1, obviously, Steph Curry, greatest shooter of all time. Number 2, I went for a pure shooting guard, best mid-range in the game right now, DeMar DeRozan.
Very good pick.
I mean, he's playing MVP caliber basketball right now. If it wasn't for Embiid, but at 3, obviously it's gonna be LeBron, 4 Giannis, and then my 5 is Joel Embiid. I think you need a pure center that can body anybody down low, and he can do that to anybody. He's not afraid of any competition down low, and that's my 5.
Neither am I. What? All right. You have a very solid team, but I don't know. Do you have any takes before I give mine?
No, because like literally on my notes, I had Embiid next to Jokic with a question mark, just because I think it is a give or take on what you want. If you want more of a scoring center, then I think you definitely go Embiid. But like I said, when you have such all-stars on your team, Jokic is the better passer, and he can score. Like, he's averaging like 26 and 13 on the season. Like, yes. Obviously he can still score. So that's what I would say. But, I mean, Embiid and Jokic are honestly a toss-up. Like, if I was starting a franchise, I don't know who I would take.
Probably LeBron.
Yeah.
Whenever you said DeMar and Embiid on the same team, I'm thinking no.
I also had
there's
DeMar
no
first.
assists the whole game.
You have LeBron, idiot.
Yeah, but you want LeBron to get your only 10 and the rest are just running around just
LeBron,
ISO the whole time?
LeBron can do that all. LeBron can do it all.
So you have DeMar, an ISO player, Giannis, who has no off ball. If Embiid, just who's not if that ball goes in the post, you might as well run back on defense.
We're scoring it. Same with DeMar.
Yeah,
DeMar gets that in the mid range. He's not missing.
You have a very.
I had Ja at the 1 and DeMar at the 2, but then I was like, you got to have the ability to space because you got to have shooters.
That's
why I plugged in Steph, because Steph is arguably, he's the best shooter of all time, and he's a better career player. But Steph hasn't had an up and down season this year, and he hasn't scored as much as he normally does. So that's why I was like a little bit.
Well, yeah. Well, Steph started off with everybody's like, he's the MVP. Like the only thing he'd have to be atrocious for the rest of the season in order not to win MVP, and he's been playing atrocious.
There's only like a couple.
He has
bad
been, but
picks.
he's still Steph Curry. I mean, the dude can shoot.
Before I give mine, there's only like one bad pick you can have in this whole thing because the 10 players that you got picked from are really good. Someone had Andrew Wiggins in their top. No one's gonna have Andrew Wiggins in their top 5. Also, what I forgot to hit on Drew's is John Morant sucked in the All-Star game. So is he really good?
Okay, but I don't agree with. I mean, you can say he sucked in the All-Star game, but
maybe the reason Jaw is so good is because he thrives around a bunch of other role players.
Wrong.
It's like you can say
that is
like the same thing with Russ, but I don't agree with you.
No, the reason Desmond Bane has thrived so much is because of Jaw's improvement.
Right,
Desmond Bane is also.
I'm just saying that before I give you my you guys are really gonna disagree with one of my picks, but boy, do I love my shooters.
Because if Jaw's playing with a bunch of role players, then Jaw would be getting double teamed and wouldn't be putting up the MVP caliber numbers he's putting up right now.
No, all right, we'll touch on it later. But Memphis has a great supporting cast right now. Anyway, boy, do I love my shooters. At my first pick, if I'm not my first pick, but as my guard position, I'm picking as my point guard. I'm going Trae Young.
Oh,
so you want an off-brand Steph Curry?
I want listen to this backcourt: Trae Young and Steph, 1 and 2. Who you're gonna have to pick him up? You're gonna have to pick him up from half court line. What team wants to do that?
Dude, it'll be 150 to 140 every game.
Good. Well, guess what? In the backcourt, I got LeBron, Giannis, and Embiid. So they're gonna if they beat him in the front court, they're not, or if they beat him in the backcourt, they're not beating him in the front court. That's the best defensive players of all time.
I think everyone can agree LeBron and Giannis and Steph are in everybody's lineups.
Yeah,
three best players on this.
Even Embiid. Like Jokic and Embiid are both really good players, but
yeah, those only two centers you'd want. I think that shooting guard position is the one that we can disagree on.
We had Trae, Jaw. Even you can throw Tatum in there. Like you can just throw anyone in there.
Tatum has been, but I don't see Jason Tatum can't play the 2.
Yeah,
Tatum's had a good season though.
Well, if you
he has had a good season.
That's more of a
Jalen
Brown position.
Put LeBron.
Is he gonna have over LeBron and Giannis?
Put LeBron at the 1. I was gonna cheat. I was gonna do that, but that's kind of like cheating. Anyway,